Hello and welcome once again to Criccentric View. So, 8 wins on the bounce for Team India, and what a performance it was yesterday. Well, it was considered definitely as a top of table clash, and it didn't do justice to the game, to be very honest. But as Indian fans, as Indian supporters, we will take that on any given day. Rohit Sharma and his men were absolutely at it, and they definitely look like a team to beat. To discuss more on the game yesterday and how Team India's road to the ultimate destination is going to be from here on. I'm joined by Praneeth and Shravnan. Praneeth, Shravnan, how did you see the game yesterday? How was it? Did you see this coming to a victory by a margin of 200 plus runs and incredible performance again? Let's start with Shravnan this time. Shravnan,
Yeah, the way they played was something very
it
demolishing
was your
once
favorite
again.
team, by the way.
Yeah, but my favorite team is India always. The second favorite was
Okay,
South
one
Africa
of
this time.
second favorite. Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah, I
second
get it.
favorite
I
was
get
South
that.
Africa. But I never thought that we could win more than 200 run margin actually, because the way South Africa was playing was really very good. Even though they messed up in some chases, but still, I never saw that coming for 83 mere 83 run all out for the South Africa. And also, I think from the word go, I think from the toss itself, South Africa lost their morale. I think because they don't want to chase. I think, especially against India in Eden Gardens. I think that's what played in their minds. And Janssen was very erratic in his line and length, and the way when Rabada introduced, I think the match got some stability for South Africa. But still, uh, I think I have never seen such an Indian side actually, because the way they are
Never
playing
seen it.
is
Yeah.
very, very, very good actually. Because at one stage it was 90 for two. Wicket or two, something like that will be in a spot of trouble for India. But the way Virat Kohli and Shreyas Iyer steadied the ship was really brilliant. And I withdraw that I will still stick with Shreyas Iyer after. I won't change it. I won't change the playing 11.
If
Yeah,
you
I
if you
don't think
guys
we can.
if you guys remember, I told like when we were reviewing the teams, like Shreya looks like he's going to do something special in this tournament. I mean, the way he's walking out now. I mean, yesterday, I felt that okay, that has actually come true. And well, actually, I'll move to Praneeth. Praneeth, what I saw yesterday was when Janssen bowled that first over, when he conceded that wide for 5 runs, and then he bowled the very next ball, he bowled that wide outside the off stump, right? He looked way too lackluster, and that sort of carried on into the innings. And Rohit Sharma capitalized that to the best of his abilities, basically. And then from there on, especially Rohit never looked back, and that actually set up the momentum for the rest of the innings. How did you see that?
Yeah, the way Rohit Sharma started, he was going on all attack. Even the ball on which he got out, that was an absolute great shot, which came out of the middle of a bat. It was just Temba Bavuma took a good catch at the end of the day, and that innings was really important. If you see the next 10 overs, 11 to 20, India just scored 30 runs, but they were still above that six run per over mark. So that was important in that context, which helped. Even though Virat and Shreyas Iyer took time to get settled, the run rate was uh, never a bother for the team. If if Rohit Sharma played in his own template, like going conservatively, then India would have been under the pressure of, we need to attack and we need to take some risks, and that would that would make the team lose wickets, right? Especially when Keshav Maharaj was, you know, he was troubling the team with the amount of grip he was getting from the surface, right?
Mhm.
So
Actually, when I saw the Maharaj over and the way he got Shubman Gill out, I actually tweeted 260, 270 should be enough on this track, and I did say that Jadeja would pick a fiver. I mean, a fifer. I think it was Harsha Bogle's tweet, and I just put out a comment on that. And the first things was, there was a lot of criticism yesterday and a lot of hate, which shouldn't be the case. Unfortunately, most of the fans, it's Rohit versus Virat that is still going on Twitter. People trying to put up his stats, and Virat's fans are trying to put up his stats. And it was, utter chaos last night after the game. I mean, this is the first time I'm seeing an India game. India won so comfortably, and you have fans going at each other just because one is getting more limelight. I mean, at the end of the day, people are forgetting that it's the team that is winning. And okay, let's not take anything away from Rohit. I mean, if it was not for his brilliant start, I don't think India would have been able to cross the 300 mark so easily, because the ball was gripping, the ball was turning, and the innings that Rohit played, did allow, as Praneeth said, did allow Virat and especially Shreyas Iyer to take that time. Because even after the press, after the match, Shreyas was being interviewed by Mayanti along with Ravi Shastri and Sunil Gavaskar, where he did mention he was getting way too impatient, and there was a message sent out from the dugout that okay, you just take it deep, basically. So that's the way they played, and eventually, it was the need of the hour, basically. So how did you guys see that? I mean, Shravan, so 320, India was always in control of the game. I mean, for not even a single point of time, I feared that, all right, South Africa might come out, all guns blazing, because they have been really good when it's about setting the targets. I mean, if you take a look at how Quinton de Kock has gone about his business in the tournament so far, he's scored close to 500 runs, I guess, batting first, and just 54 in the second innings he's played at an average of 16 or something, with highest score of 24. So I don't think India had any problems, because obviously you could sense Kuldeep and Jadeja would come into play on this track.
Yeah, initially, when we saw that Janssen and Ingidi started the innings for South Africa, they were wavered in their lines and length, and they tried too many because the pitch is offering something, and they didn't stick to their line and lengths. And Rohit Sharma just capitalized really well. And in the initial overs, I thought this could be a belter of a wicket, maybe a 370, 380 wicket. But once Keshav Maharaj came in, and the way Gill got out, I think, okay, this is not going to be a belter of a wicket. It's going to be offer something for the spinners, and that time I thought, okay, if the ball is spinning, even Keshav Maharaj is getting some turn, then Kuldeep is going to make the South African batsman dance. So that's the thought process behind it, and I just lowered my expectations. It will not be a 370, 380 wicket, but still we can manage up to 300 because of the start that Rohit Sharma gave us, and the players who are in the hut is just waiting for the turn. So I think it's 300 will be on the cards, and once we cross the 300 mark, I think then it's a matter of time for South Africa, because they are not chasing really well. They even messed up against Netherlands, and even the comfortable position against Pakistan, they really messed up like anything, and they just huffed and puffed to reach the target. So against Shami, they don't stand a chance, but the Quinton de Kock's wicket was the most key, I think, because he is giving those what do you say that explosive starts, and then the batsmen are just capitalizing on that. So once we get de Kock's wicket early, then we will be able to restrict them into a mediocre total, but not exactly 83. It was never in my mind.
I never thought. Yeah, I mean, I thought. Excuse me. So, I mean, in all fairness, I thought they would at least get 180, 190, even with that sort of a turn, with the firepower India has and everything, taking everything into account. I thought at least 180, 190, they should be able to score, but definitely not 320. I mean, that was definitely on my mind. Praneeth, 49th 100 on 35th birthday. I mean, I know, as Mark Nicholas did say that, he's a script writer of his own. But honestly, I mean, it was a perfect setting, a perfect platform for him to, score that big 100. I mean, now for me as a fan, I would want one of those performances to be replicated in one of the knockouts, at least one of the knockouts, right? Because all that, huff and puff, all those brilliances, in the past would come down to, this debate. I mean, can he do that in the knockouts? Because obviously, if we have seen the knockouts, there hasn't been that amount of consistency from I think any of the players, to be really honest with you. I mean, in the last semi-final against England, he did score a 50, and he has some knocks, but then it's about winning at the end of the day and winning knockouts. So in the last 10, 11 years, we haven't seen that coming from any of the top line batsmen so far. So what do you reckon is going to be the way forward, especially for the batting? Because I'm taking the Netherlands game out of the equation for now. So let's talk about India versus New Zealand or Pakistan. Who do you think would be our men to go on and do the job for the team in the semi-finals?
So in the semi-finals, of course, it would be the same template. Like I don't think there would be any change. Like Rohit Sharma and Gill would be giving the explosive start because semi-finals either it would be in uh, Kolkata or Mumbai, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Let's say 90% Mumbai and
Yes.
10% Kolkata for now.
Yeah, like if it is Mumbai, then yeah, you could go with that template that Rohit Sharma is going to give that explosive start because see, Mumbai wicket is not something like a sluggish one or a slow wicket. It's more of a batting wicket, and the way if Pakistan comes up, and the way Fakhar Zaman is in form right now, so you would need to put Pakistan on pressure from the start of the game. You can't expect okay fine if we score 300 they can't chase it. Uh, you need to be like going at a higher run rate from the start itself. So I think Rohit Sharma would hold key there. And
So I mean, the way you mentioned Fakhar Zaman, you have already qualified Pakistan into the semi-finals.
yeah, if that's the case, yeah.
If that's the case, true. But I don't think. I mean, to be very honest, I don't see that as a practicality. I mean, it's going to be, there are a lot of permutations and combinations in place. New
Right,
Zealand
right,
beating
yeah.
Sri Lanka, Pakistan going on, and right now, okay, there is a competition in competition itself. Why? Because the teams are fighting for that Champions Trophy place. So they have. I mean, you have a very important game going on between Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. I mean, had it not been for Champions Trophy, this would have been dead rubbers. But now there's a life to it because regardless of whether they are playing for their pride or not, I mean, that's a secondary story altogether. They are playing for something very meaningful. It's the Champions Trophy at the end of the day. So I don't expect England to take it lightly or, not to come with all guns blazing. They will be at it against Pakistan. And I think even Sri Lanka will give a fight, basically. I mean, but I still see somehow like for New Zealand going on and winning that game. If New Zealand
But
wins that game,
yeah,
then
New
then
Zealand has lost the momentum, right? So that's
I
the
I do
problem
agree. I
right
do
now.
agree. I
And
do
with
agree
all the
completely.
injuries going on, with the
Mhm.
injuries and all those things, now they have brought in Kyle Jameson. Like maybe I don't know how he would perform in the Indian conditions and all. So not
Mhm.
really sure in terms of this bowling department. And in the batsman again, even if uh, even if you have seen New Zealand has given a start like Devon
Yes.
Conway, Rachin Ravindra, Kane Williamson. After that, Tom Latham hasn't been in form in this World Cup,
No.
and same goes for Glenn Phillips. Uh, he
Mhm.
has also played one game here and there, and after that it's just Mark Chapman and Mitch Santner. So there are like a lot of question marks at this point. The team which was uh, looking to be like uh,
Sure. A
top
surety in the
twos,
semi-finals. Yeah,
a
top two.
surety in the semifinals. Now they have lost the momentum and there are a lot of question marks. So that's why I feel there's a possibility that they could falter against Sri Lanka.
Mhm. Shravan, what do you think? I mean, personally, I see New Zealand making it like they're going to be the party spoilers for Pakistan fans. I do get that feeling because, all right, I mean, to be very honest, Pakistan had lost four and then they came back. If Pakistan can do it, then why can't New Zealand? Because they have power hitters, they have people like who have done it in the World Cup. Rachin Ravindra has been absolutely phenomenal. Then you have Kane Williamson who has made a comeback. Then you have like players who can literally talk the ball right in the middle and in the later stages of the game in Glenn Phillips and Mark Chapman, Sodi and Phillips bowling, and you have Santner, Ravindra. Then I do agree for the fact that for Ferguson, I think he should be fit for this game because he was. I mean, from the reports that I read, Ferguson was actually like doing really well even before the game against Pakistan, but New Zealand chose to rest him, okay, so that he could be fit and you know get ready for this game. So Lockie Ferguson might get a game. I'm not quite sure if Jamieson would be drafted in, but I think New Zealand would come all guns blazing in this match. What do you think, Shravan?
Yeah, personally, I feel New Zealand has the upper hand in this picture because Pakistan still have to win by a huge margin against England. So I think England will not play very easily, though they
No,
were.
but again, sorry, I'm interrupting you. If New Zealand lose, then it's like curtains. Pakistan just has to go and defeat England. That's it. As simple as that.
Yeah,
But
but
just in
still,
case,
defeating
Just
England
in
will
case
not be very.
Afghanistan also has a
very
realistic chance, right? So yeah.
very valid point. Very valid
Yes.
point. Because South Africa, okay, like
Yeah,
you know,
if
it's
they won the toss and put some 250 on board, then game on for Afghanistan.
exactly, exactly. So that can happen. I mean, I'm not ruling that out. I think against Australia, it could be difficult. Impossible to an extent, perhaps, because they're playing in Mumbai. But against South Africa, Afghanistan, I think they do stand a chance if they bat first, at least.
Yeah, but in a cricketing perspective, I think New Zealand will be the one will qualify ahead of Pakistan. But as an Indian cricket fan, I want Pakistan to be in the semi-finals. I don't want to be any hiccups going towards this ultimate glory. Even
Well,
Australia should lose
look,
lose in the semi-final itself, and we need some
okay.
other opponent.
Yeah, now the thing is, I honestly don't want Pakistan. There's a reason behind that. It's going to
Why?
be a lot of pressure, believe me, regardless of how, how they are playing and, what their formation is and, what the issues are. It's going to be a lot of pressure on the players, which is quite unnecessary at this stage because there'll be, a lot of media hype to the contest, right? That's the first thing. And then, obviously, statements from here and there, this and that. It's just all going to, add up to the excess amount of pressure that it's going to happen. I mean, if it happens, I mean, in the hindsight, I mean, if it happens and if we won, there's nothing like it. But then again, you'll have to go through, all that all over again, which is
Yeah, but
something that
anyway,
I
we'll
won't.
have the pressure. Anyway, we'll have the pressure, the knockouts pressure. We haven't crossed that barrier for last 10 years,
Yeah,
and
but that's
even if
true.
any team comes, the pressure will be very high. If Pakistan
Knockout.
comes,
Yeah,
it's a
that
historic rivalry. New
I
Zealand
know
comes, a recent rivalry which we haven't won against them.
they've
If
just won.
Afghanistan comes,
They've
a new
just
minnow can surprise you like Sri Lanka in
no, no, no.
'96.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
see, the thing with Pakistan is the thing with other teams in Pakistan is there are former players like India versus New Zealand. There is pressure, but there is no mind games from the former players or anything. But if it is India versus Pakistan, there would be media hype. There would
yep.
be even former players from both the countries who would be going at each other,
At each
and
other.
that is just a unnecessary thing which would add
Yeah,
to the
yeah, true.
context, right? So which is not really necessary at this point.
Because look, I mean, in the greater scheme of things, I want India to win this World Cup. Simple, plain,
yes.
let's lock it. So regardless of who comes, but it's just that I'm trying to find a way that is definitely not easy. But I don't want to be caught up in. I mean, I don't want the team to be caught up in that sort of an environment wherein, okay, there's a lot of hysteria to this, a lot of frenzy to it. All right, I'm not saying New Zealand would be an easy game. Make no mistake about it. New Zealand have been that team which has troubled India so much in the last 20 years in the ICC tournament. So it's not going to be pretty easy. But then again, if you have to win those tournaments, then you do go out there and perform and win against the best teams out there, right? So I would actually take New Zealand for that matter, and then I definitely want to avoid Australia because Australia in the knockouts is going to be absolutely lethal until and unless you have a Yuvraj in your squad, right? So I don't know how it's going to be. What do you think, Praneeth? Who would you be comfortable? Okay, you did say that New Zealand could be. Then what do you think would be the finals? I mean, should we cross the bridge when we come there, or can we discuss that?
Yeah, I see. I would rather take New Zealand and South Africa over Australia. Like you're also saying that it's
Yes.
better to Australia Australia loses in the semifinals. Otherwise, it would be a tough work for India if Australia is
Yes.
playing either semifinals or finals, right?
I don't
Because
think there's a
they
possibility
somehow
of a semi-final now. Yeah.
Yeah, India won't play against
yeah.
Australia, but
Australia, yeah.
finals versus
The
like
finals is a
But
possibility.
finals, there's a possibility because Australia and South Africa, like again, it depends on the toss. Who wins the toss on that day? If South
irrespective of
Africa
that,
loses the toss
Australia will
and
have the upper hand.
yeah, like if South Africa loses the toss and if they have to chase, I don't know how these guys would manage it, right? Because
Yeah.
even in yesterday's game, it seemed like they didn't know how to chase, right? See, we praise about Virat Kohli, right? He's the chase master and all those things. So the way he builds the innings, there is art to it, right? Like he takes time, then he assesses the situation and he picks those bowlers and he attacks on them, right? With South Africa, no one seemed to know how to do that. Like after Quinton de Kock got out, Rassie van der Dusen, he went into a shell and he was just playing dot balls on dot balls. Uh, so that's the bigger issue for South Africa. So that's what it is. So I
True.
feel Australia could be the finalists with India.
Now again, it depends on the toss, right? I mean, if you have to
Hmm.
play some fearless, because what I have seen, from this squad, the South African squad in this World Cup so far is whenever they have been, put under the pump, there were no answers to it. I mean, even in the game against Netherlands and in the game against India, uh, they've gone down chasing basically. So, I mean, like you mentioned, in the game against Pakistan, I would say they were lucky in the end because if you take a look at the way India bowled, to South Africa, uh, when the way Indian spinners bowled to South Africa and the way Pakistan bowled, you see a lot of difference. Indians were, it was just wicket to wicket, especially the way Jadeja and Kuldeep bowled. Whereas Nawaz and the other spinners, they were like, giving room on the offside or putting it on the leg stump. So that's exactly where Pakistan did lose that game. I mean, they were not disciplined enough to bowl to South African batsmen. So, coming to, again, the finalist, I do fancy, I mean, I do think, I mean, I would definitely fancy somebody like South Africa because they would be eventually playing hard cricket to come and, play there. But, I mean, the way it's looking like, I mean, it could be India versus Australia. I mean, let's let's face it. I mean,
Let's hope it not be the case.
I hope so. I hope so. Definitely.
Yeah.
I want the trophy to be given to India right now, but that's just not going to happen. They'll have to play and like get it. I mean,
Yeah.
So I mean, just make it a league World Cup or something like that. Whoever tops the list, just give it to them.
But yeah, like even Australia with Travis Head coming in, it has become a strong side right now.
I was actually about to make that point because he is one player who can actually take the game away from you in the first 7-8 overs. 6 overs, 7 overs, 80 for no loss, then that's it. Game is done. At least
Yeah,
in
I think that
80,
is the
80.
only thing that can restrict India also, because
Yes.
our frontline bowlers have been very spot on in their line and lengths, and they haven't given more than 60 runs, I think, not even in the single game in the past 8 games. So if Travis Head comes hard against us, and what will be the plan for Rohit Sharma and go when the situation like that? So
Plus, we don't have a sixth bowling option. Okay.
yes,
Now, just in case if something happens, okay, if let's say Siraj goes for runs, okay, all right, Travis Head takes him head on and then puts him for some runs, then okay, we might get a Shami in or we might get a Kuldeep or Jadeja in, but you will have to at least get 5-6 overs out of Siraj's way and then get in somebody else. Who would you take that risk with? Kohli or Rohit Sharma would bowl or Shubman Gill, Shreyas Iyer. I mean, we don't really have those options. So that is one thing which is a worrisome factor right now with Hardik Pandya, not being a part of the
Ruled
World
out,
Cup
yeah.
anymore. Yeah. So I mean, that is one area of concern. Plus, uh, the batting. Okay, we have had good performances, so we'll have to actually stick to it and hope that Surya would play one major knock in the next 3 games because what we have seen so far is, I mean, this World Cup has been better than all previous World Cups so far because it's not just the top three who have got runs. We have been put under the pump, and even middle order has contributed quite significantly. The number 4 spot, which was so spoken about, we did have somebody like a Shreyas Iyer who has come up with 350s in the tournament, right? So it's it's been there and thereabout, but then again, just in case if there is pressure straight away and for some reason there is no response from the top 3 or 4 maybe, then how would you respond? Because Australia have peaked at the right time for themselves, for them. So that is a worrisome factor for most of the Indian fans, I would say.
I mean, that's true, but at this point, but would you rather risk, in the before even the World Cup started, we were talking, right? India should back even if they have lesser lesser batters, because it's their home conditions. They know uh, they can figure it out, even though they go with a they go with a weaker batting in the sense less number of batters, right? So in that case, would you take a risk of dropping Surya Kumar Yadav and going with another bowler, out and out bowler in Prasidh Krishna?
No.
I don't think we would need Prasidh Krishna right now, because
Mhm.
you already have three who have played 8 games, who would possibly play 9. Okay, then I mean, if at all there is a place now, it's going to be Ashwin. I mean, that's what I see, because
Mm.
especially if you're playing in, I mean, against Pakistan in Eden Gardens, and if you're going in Mumbai, then I think Surya plays. I mean, this is what I
Also,
think.
like you're talking about Australia, right? With the number of left-handers they have, I
Mhm.
I have to agree with agree with you if Ashwin comes in, right?
Yeah.
Because they're always in that defensive mindset when Ashwin comes on.
Yes.
Like for example, David Warner, he started to bat with a right-handed stance.
Mhm.
So
Mhm. Mhm.
Ashwin could be one sixth bowling option which they could explore, but I'm not sure if
I don't.
that would
I
be a
think,
good idea for
well,
Ahmedabad wicket.
in a tournament like this, I mean, with such a high magnitude, especially when you haven't, won the major tournament, when there's a lot of, build up to it, playing in your home conditions, I don't think the team would take any risk right now, or any decision of, that sort, wherein you would, get a player in right in the finals. I mean, I mean, that's not. I mean, I personally feel that's not going to happen, because they would actually go on with this team for the rest of the 3 matches, until unless there is a forced injury or so. So I don't think they are actually backing this bowling lineup to go and do the job. Otherwise, they would have gotten maybe an Akshar Patel in place of Hardik Pandya, if they were thinking of an all-rounder, because I think they are expecting the pace to do the job for the team. And just in case, I mean, Prasidh Krishna has been called up as a backup in case one of the fast bowlers, like something happens to, I mean, if there's a forced injury or something like that. What do you think, Shravan?
Yeah, changing players right now will not be a good idea. Also, in high pressure situation like a finals against Australia, why would you change the lineup? Because if you draft in Ashwin, then you will be having a very slender batting lineup. Though we have a very good batters.
But
What
here's
if?
the thing, like
Hmm.
it's an Ahmedabad wicket, right? So you should. Do you really need those many batters till Surya Kumar Yadav, like on a proper batting wicket?
You never
Instead of
know.
that,
Yes, yes,
You never
I
know.
will definitely take him. If it is a batting paradise, then Surya Kumar Yadav will be the one who can do the job
Okay.
for us.
Yeah, because I'll tell you something. If at all, I mean, if it's a batting wicket, right, and if you bat first, then I would want India to bat Australia out of the game. Simple as that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you
Just the
just
way they
need to
did.
gather as many
Yeah,
runs.
yeah. Because
Just go for an
just
all-out
the
attack
way
and
the way they did to us in Centurion in 2003. Just bat, the opposition out of the game, and then see how they respond. And with 5 bowlers, with a huge score on the board, then I think it's going to be way too comfortable in the end. I mean, it's not going to be as comfortable as we are making it sound to be, but then uh, it's going to be like at least tilt in India's favor, 60-42, at the halfway mark.
Mhm.
yeah, but that's been the case for India in this whole tournament. We are just batting out the entire oppositions.
Yeah.
Even we are chasing, we just completing the chase within 30-35 overs. We haven't batted very long, except that New Zealand game. Even in the England game, we first batted at 229, we managed, but still we got the England out for 129. And in Sri Lanka game, we just know what our bowlers can do when we have a huge total on the board, and those three paces are just what do you say? They're just giving nightmares to the batters. Even
Like
South
yesterday, Michael Vaughan tweeted, right? If Bumrah doesn't get you, Siraj will. If Siraj
Yeah.
doesn't get you,
Yes,
Shami will. So
Shami will get you.
that's how it.
And
That's how the
after,
team
if
is
even
operating here.
though you survive all these three paces, then Jaddu and Kuldeep will just smash you. That's how we
If
have been
Jaddu and
bowling right.
if you survive Jaddu and Kuldeep, then you have a
The
fresh
second spell
Bumrah
of
coming for his second spell. Yeah. So that's how it is. I mean, Well, believe me, I mean, as a fan growing up in the mid 90s, when I used to look at Wasim Akram, Wakhar Yunus running in, okay, and Glenn McGrath, and then Brett Lee came into Australia squad, and you have Jeff Allett, who was a fast bowler from New Zealand at that time. Jeff Allett and
Shane Bond.
Shane Bond actually came in late. Shane Bond came in early
But
2000s, but before that there was
Tuffy,
Jeff Allett. Tuffy was there, yes. Tuffy was there, but Tuffy wasn't like an out and out quick as Jeff Allett was, or Wasim Bakhar, and then Shoaib Akhtar came in at the towards later. So I used to actually dream, when will India have pace bowlers like these?
no,
So
you're
and
comparing
to
against
see,
England and Australia. I even long for a bowlers like Chamin Dawas, Zoisa, Dilhara Fernando, but
I
we
know,
don't
yeah, yeah.
have that pace trio.
Okay, Chaminda was actually he was more reliant on the line and length and the swing. But I was actually I was caught up with that frenzy of having those proper out and out quicks because seeing those stumps flying when Wakhar Yunus used to bowl. I remember that the test match they played in Chennai. I think it was a ball to Lakshman. I think it was Lakshman or
No,
Sadagopan Ramesh.
Tendulkar
Sadagopan
and
Ramesh.
Tendulkar and Dravid's
That
consecutive
was that
wickets.
No,
that was
you're
Eden
saying about the
Gardens.
wicket.
Eden
I think
Gardens.
it
Okay,
was
okay.
That was
Lakshman.
Eden Gardens. That was Eden Gardens in the Asian Coca-Cola Asian Test Championship. But this is I'm talking about the two Test matches that Pakistan came for. One was played in Chennai, which India lost by 12 runs in a brilliant fourth innings 100 by Sachin in that game, right? And there was another game played in Delhi where Anil Kumble took those famous 10
10
wickets,
for
right? So in that game in Chennai, there was one bowl that Wakhar Yunus bowled to. It was either Lakshman or Sadagopan Ramesh. Uh, the stumps went flying. So I used to actually think, I mean, when will India get such bowlers? Even in Sahara Cup, for that matter, those, deliveries coming in and, rapping on the pads, and those were sights to see. And India at that point of time famously had, Srinath, I think, was nursing an injury or something. So India had Harvinder Singh, Debashish Mohanty, uh, Abe Kuruvilla was there for some brief period. So these were the bowlers India had. Prasad, who was in mid 120s. Okay, and then obviously Srinath was quick to start off with, but then again he had reduced his pace. So there was a famous statement made by Gary Kirsten at one point of time, wherein he said, "We should laugh at Indian fast bowling in our dressing room." So from there on to last 15, 20 years or so, from Zahir to Nehra to Irfan Pathan in the earlier stages, then RP Singh, Umesh Yadav, Ishant Sharma. I mean, we have had some phenomenal bowlers, and now it's like I mean, okay, we used to sit in front of the TV, glued to the sets, waiting for Virendra Sehwag to open the innings. Now, most of the fans are sitting in front of the TV to see Bumrah and Siraj Ranin. That is a
Yeah.
change in the mindset completely. This is what I've seen in the last 30 years of being an avid follower of the Indian cricket.
But you should give this credit to Virat Kohli because
Of
he was
course,
the
of
one
course.
who backed the fast bowlers,
Fast bowler.
uh, and he wanted them to be on the peak of the fitness so that they can perform
Yes,
at the test level, not even ODI or
yes,
T20, right?
yes.
Because he always believed that fast bowlers are the key to get 20 wickets in the test cricket, and that's the way we can win the game.
That's
And the
exactly what
way.
most of the legends say. If you watch Wasim
Mhm.
Akram, the reason why Pakistan have not peaked in 50 over cricket, especially in the last few years, is just because of the fact that all the bowlers that they have right now, they don't play domestic cricket. They're all 4 over
Mhm.
bowlers. That's what most of the Pakistan experts say that. And I
Right.
mean, why has Shaheen not come really really good? Because he's a good bowler even now, but then again, maintaining that fitness right throughout those 50 overs, 100 overs, just in case. And then, playing a big tournament, 9 games in a span of, let's say, 40 days or so. So it requires a lot of effort. And unless you don't really have the best part about India is all these bowlers have played Test cricket, right?
Mhm.
So that, and they have done really really well in Test cricket. So that, I mean, that is your actual nursery of getting the bowlers into your ODI squad. So you can't do much wrong if you are actually relying on the more conventional and traditional form of cricket.
Right. Yeah, like that's what even if you watch Salman Butt's YouTube channel, in that he says
Uh-huh.
that, right, in T20 you're not facing with different situations in the same game. in the test format, you have to play against a new ball. You have to weather the storm. Then when the ball gets old, you need to deal with the spinners. You need to deal with the reverse swing. You need to. There are a lot of
Yeah.
aspects in the test cricket which challenges the batsman or the bowler for that matter, right? And Pakistan team somehow they weren't challenged with different situations. Like take Shaheen Afridi for example. What is your plan if you're not getting that in swinging Yorkers and all those things correctly? So
True.
Shaheen Afridi is totally clueless, right? And even for the batsman, uh, uh, like he said, okay, fine. If you can't pick Googly, you're not able to pick Googly. Okay, fine. Are you able to play the short balls? That is also not there. So your thing is you always want a flat wicket, then only you could score runs, right? So he said all these things would be resolved if you play a long format cricket, right?
True. True.
And
And
in
this,
India,
yeah.
in India,
Go on.
all these things are addressed. Like the wickets are also not the same. Like you have
Yes.
different characteristics of different places. So that's why India kind of are doing well here with the different conditions and all those things, adaptabilities and all.
Shravan, what do you think? I mean, there was a news that came in early this morning. Entire Sri Lankan board is sacked just before the game, a couple of hours before the game started. So, I mean, the decision could be right, but then definitely not the timing. I mean,
Yeah,
you don't do
at
that
least
just
they could
before
have
the
waited
game.
until the completion of
Wait for
the
the
2 days.
tournament to end. Yeah, just
Well,
2 days. Yeah.
just 2 days, like 2 more days, then you will have at least possibility is like you win 2 games and could make your way through to the Champions Trophy. I'm not too sure if they are qualifying right now or not, but uh, there was no need for it to do at this stage, of the tournament. You could have just waited for a couple more days.
Yeah, maybe they could have taken the advice from Pakistan. They're
No,
just stacking
could
chairs now.
be, but but the chief selector resigned himself, right? So, but I don't think the board
Yeah,
could have.
no
Yeah,
one should resign at this moment of time. There could be some pressure from the higher
I mean,
authorities.
I feel it. Sri Lanka operates on that knee-jerk reactions. Even look at Dashan Sanaka. After he has he made the team fought till Asia Cup finals, and just because the team lost finals in a bad way, he was like, okay, fine, I stepped down from the captaincy. Then again, he started the World Cup. He was the captain. So somehow it feels like Sri Lanka they take decisions based on the heat of the moment, which
or
is not
emotions
very
maybe.
or emotions exactly. So first of all, that's not a right thing to do, and at the same time, not the right time as well. You have a couple of games left. Wait till that time, and you could see how things goes, right? Otherwise,
True.
and that's what we are talking, right? Sri Lanka has the issue with the stability after Sangakkara, Jayawardene, all these guys have retired, and these things will even make things worse for them, right? Like the
And
entire department.
as we speak, they are 88 for 3 in 16 overs.
Oh, oh.
So I don't know because Shakib is predicting a lot of dew in Delhi. So that's the reason they won the toss and decided to bowl first. And there was a wicket in the second over, but then afterwards they did stabilize to an extent. Let's just
Yeah,
follow
Isaac Kushal Mendes and Nisanka was playing well. 45 for 1 in 8 overs.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
After Mendes gets out, Sri Lanka they are a bit vulnerable, right?
I think Mendes got out for 19, and then good knock from Nisanka. Actually, he made 41 of 36 balls, 8 boundaries.
Yeah.
Sadira Samaravikra and Charita Salankar playing. So I think they should. I think they should go for a big one now. I think they will go for a big one. I don't know. I get a feeling that either one among Matthews or Dhananjay would score big today, or an impactful knock.
But they are not explosive players, right? They will be like if they score, let's say 100, they would take like 120, 130 balls.
No,
Right.
not Dhananjay, I guess.
No,
Matthew
actually,
definitely.
Matthews,
yeah.
yeah.
Matthews
no,
can
I
play a
mean-
bit higher. Asalanka is an out and out hitter. He can come down as a finisher. But they are still sticking with Angela Matthews at number 7. will not be do any justice for him also, and as well as in the team's perspective. He can stabilize the innings. Even against India, he was the one who is just blocking around the bit and just getting past the Asia Cup's final total. So maybe Rahim Matthews at number 5 would be of a great help for Sri Lanka to stabilize the innings, but they are going with
Yeah,
Sri Lanka.
he's in at number 6 now, so he's due to come in next.
And also, Dhananjay De Silva also can play a bit higher.
I think
He's a
for me, I mean,
proper
I would.
anchor.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I think he should bat number
At
4. To
number
be very
four,
honest,
number four, yeah.
Yeah,
number 4 definitely. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, since the T20 World Cup, I have actually seen him come down the order. No, after the World Cup actually,
But
he was
here's
coming
the
higher
thing,
in the
like,
order.
but I think they are hoping that one of Kusal Pereira or Dimut Karunaratne, one of them shows up, right? If they move on from them, they could open with Patum Nisanka and Kusal Mendes, and that way they
True.
could then you could put in Samara Vikrama, and after that Dhananjay De Silva. They could have gone with that, but it's just that they are looking for Kushal Pereira as opener, so everyone is moving down in order.
True. Right, guys. Any
Yeah.
more points that you think we should be taken up on, or can we call it a day and then meet after a couple of days, perhaps?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
meet after a couple of days.
I think
We are good now. We are
Right.
winning.
All right, we are winning. Yeah, so there's no complaints for now. All right, guys. Thank you so much, and we will join back again in about a couple of days' time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.